roll call for attendance. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Wood, Chip O'Connor, Mr. Tucker,
Present.
Mr. James,
Here.
Mr. Irving,
Here.
Dr. Testaverde,
Here.
Mr. Havlin,
Yeah.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Here.
Ms. O'Connor,
Here.
Mrs. Troop.
Here.
Public comment. Comments can be emailed in advance of the 6:30 PM start time to lrand@whittier.tech.ma.us. All comments will be recorded to the record, and all attempts will be made to mention them live during the meeting. Any emails received during the meeting will be mentioned at the following meeting. Approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Tucker.
I move the approval of the minutes of September 8, 2021, minutes of the regular school committee meeting.
Second.
Roll call vote for the approval. Are there any questions or comments? Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. Havlin,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mrs. True.
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Move to accept.
Give it a second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. Havlin,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mrs. True.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, old business. There is no old business posted. Reports and communications, student representative Ryan Link.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and all other school committee members. Girls soccer is currently 7-2 and first in the CAC lower division. Team has a great group of girls who work hard and love representing Whittier. Both the boys and girls cross-country teams are off to solid starts this season. The boys team remains undefeated at 6-0, while the girls team is 3-3. Whittier has a great group of athletes out there. Football team is 2 for 2 and playing some great football at this time. Every game has come right down to the end in front of a stadium that is packed with fans. Great leadership by the senior group has brought this team to great heights. The volleyball team is currently 4 for 8 with 8 games remaining. This year's team has been working hard every week and improving greatly. Team is looking forward to the last month of the season. Chess Club held its first in-person meeting this Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the library with more people than ever. Students are excited and the club has over 54 members enrolled. The first meeting for the Environmental Club will be on Thursday of October 4th. This meeting will focus on planning a school cleanup day where they will pick up litter around the building. The Interact Club has worked with the Haverhill Rotary Club, which provided them with 20 t-shirts designed by the club president. The club had volunteered at the Haverhill River Ruckus event on September 25th, where they distributed the schedule of events to guests. For Ski Club, emails have gone out to all new members and they plan to meet in person to discuss their trips towards the end of fall. Journalism Club meetings began on Tuesday. Club discussed the first edition of the digital magazine Wildcats. Club will cover Spirit Week and discuss other Whittier Tech happenings. Student government meets in person starting on Thursday and will meet every other Thursday. Whittier held elections in late September and the club would like to congratulate the student government officers. Club has also been hard at work planning Spirit Week for 2021. They can't wait to share their Whittier Tech pride. The Multicultural Club had a first virtual meeting last month and welcomed several new freshman students as well as returning upper class students. Club reiterated their mission to appreciate other cultures by learning more about them. This month, they're focusing on My Name, My Identity, where students in the club will help teachers and staff pronounce their names correctly. This past week, members of Whittier Tech Ski Club volunteered out in the community at the annual Garrison Golf Santa Fund Hole-in-One tournament in Haverhill. They're looking forward to many more community service events throughout the school year. Key Club started in-person meetings this week after school on Tuesday. The GSA is incredibly proud to have 2 students representing Whittier Tech on the Massachusetts Stateside GSA Leadership Council. GSA students went to Shawshene Tech for the Northeast Regional GSA Leadership Council meeting on Wednesday, October 6th. The yearbook staff has been taking pictures during fall sports events. An announcement will be going out to parents and guardians regarding the senior portrait deadline, photo specifications, and the process for buying baby ads. This month, the staff will be setting up a portrait studio in the lobby from 11 to 1 every day through December 14th in order to take pictures of new staff members and seniors who prefer not to use an outside photographer. The first peer-to-peer meeting took place on October 12th, 2021. The club discussed a walk to raise awareness for mental health, cards, and gifts for the troops for the holidays, and the walk for hunger this spring. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Moving on, Superintendent Lynch. Superintendent's report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Tonight before you, I have personnel actions of a HVAC instructor, long-term sub, electrical instructor, secretary substitute calling, early college liaison, portfolio liaison, AP liaison, concurrent enrollment liaison, mindfulness curriculum creator, articulation agreement coordinator, class club advisors, evening school cafeteria workers, event ticket collectors, Spanish translators, medical tutors, game clock officials. I also have before you an electrical instructor resignation. There is no budget at this time, budget update at this time. Katrina Jensen, our coordinator of data and assessment, will be doing an MCAS presentation this evening. As far as superintendent's update, I believe I gave you a brief overview of some of the many things that our staff did and our staff and students did for 9/11. I want to thank our carpentry program, in particular, Mr. Levine and his students that made amazing wood flags to give to the Haverhill Police and Fire Chief. I want to thank our masonry program instructor, Paul Boucher, and his students for laying down brick for the firefighter museum. I want to thank our culinary instructor, Mr. Corvetti, for the amazing pastries that were served at the reception. I want to thank the Skills USA students and Ms. Moskovich for helping out hand out programs and help cleaning up after the event. I want to thank Advanced Manufacturing, where Ryan is from, that also made keychains for the police and the firefighters in the city of Haverhill. I also want to thank our vocational coordinators, Paul Moskovich and Amanda Crosby, for help coordinating all these activities. I could not have been more proud of the Whittier Tech community. We were not in school very long to make all of this happen, and I really appreciate their hard work. We are still planning on having an open house on November 7th. But it will be scaled down a bit. We are only inviting 8th grade students and their parents along with local officials to attend the event. We thought this was the safest way for potential students to see our school and to see what Whittier Tech has to offer. We are developing a new recruitment video to continue to show what Whittier Tech can offer, and this would be a great opportunity for those that don't feel comfortable coming in person. We are still planning on touring every 8th grade student again this year. As of right now, we feel like we can do this safely with our students and staff as well as the students coming to visit us. As of yesterday, I am happy to report that our students are participating in many extracurricular activities beyond sports. I want to thank the many bus drivers that committed to helping out the city of Haverhill and their students for the last 6 weeks. It's much different driving elementary school students than high school students. It's definitely not the same job, I learned. I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce event that provided an update of mayors in the local area. On 9/27, I sat in on a call with the Commissioner of Education, Jeff Riley. He has extended the mask policy until November 1st. On October 4th, I attended the annual Merrimack Valley Chamber meeting. Charlie Baker, our governor, was in attendance. He provided a context of how we dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic over the last year and a half. On 10/7, I had local superintendents here to visit at the Poets Inn. The superintendent from Ipswich, Pentucket, Triton, and Georgetown were in attendance. This is a great opportunity for our leaders in our district to discuss concerns we have in our school, and we are planning to meet again in November. On this coming Monday, a subgroup of the building committee will also be interviewing an OPM for the feasibility project. So that project is still moving forward. And that is all I have for you this evening.
Questions for Ms. Lynch? Moving on. Coordinator of Data and Assessment, Katrina Jensen.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and school committee members. I am Katrina Jensen, the Coordinator of Data and Assessment. And tonight I have the privilege of sharing our MCAS results from this past spring for the class of 2023 and 2024. MCAS 2.0. So this past spring was our second administration of the MCAS 2.0 in English and math after a year without MCAS testing because there was no MCAS testing in the spring of 2020. All Whittier Tech students took the MCAS 2.0 on their iPad. And I would like to point out, we had 100% participation rate, including the students that were out on remote. For performance levels, this has changed. So we now have exceeds the requirement, meets the requirement, partially meets the requirement, and does not meet the requirement. Meeting the requirement is the new gold standards and compares to the old advanced category. For English language arts, overall, 91.6% of our students passed this exam. 7.2% got in exceeds, which is a 7% increase from 2 years ago. This chart shows how we compared to different subgroups versus the state. So across the board, for the English test, we were 1% above for all students in the state. We were 10% above for economically disadvantaged students and 4% above for high need students. While this is a little lower than previous years, this is still excellent.
It is.
This chart shows when the kids took it in 8th grade compared to 10th grade. So what I'd like to point out here is that we increased from 8th grade to 10th grade, 5.3% in the exceeds category, 6.4 in the meets. In the partially meets, we had a 3.4 decrease, which is what you want. And in the not meeting, we had 8.4% decrease, which is excellent. That means 8% of those students did not fail, which is great. Now we move to math. And for math, 91% of all the sophomores passed the math test. Our exceeds is 4.2. Again, I compared us to subgroups. So for all students in the state, we were 3% above. For economically disadvantaged, we were 14% above. And for high needs, 8% above. Again, I compared the 8th grade to 10th grade. For meets, we were 10.9% increase. For partially meets, a 9.3% decrease. And the does not meet 3.3% decrease. Science and technology was taken by our freshmen. So that's the class of 2024. 97% of the freshmen passed the test on the first try.
Wow.
Yes, because I would like to mention that we were in hybrid last year. So we didn't run our academy program. So they were missing about 40 minutes a day or a week of their class. And 17.2% of those students got into advanced. This last slide just shows where we're at as far as MCAS competency determination. So right now, up until the class of 2021, we've always had 100%. Our current seniors are also at 100%. These seniors got all 3 subject tests waived. But as a note, any senior who would like to take the test for scholarship purposes can take it. And I actually do have a handful that are taking it in November for scholarship purposes. And then our current juniors, 90% of them are already MCAS complete. Some other things to note for next steps is we have our new learning loss coordinators, which are going through the data. The curriculum coordinator and I, Kelly Fay, meet with them every week and we discuss data and next steps on how we can look at our data and what we need to put into the curriculum and how we can help our students. We also have 2 full-time tutors now dedicated to just MCAS tutoring. And we are going to start a new assessment program by the end of December, which will mimic the MCAS exam. Any questions?
Wow. Very impressive.
Congratulations.
I can't believe it. What an accomplishment after what we've been through.
Great
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
considering that
We weren't here.
I agree.
Maybe you do better when we're not here.
Don't say that.
No.
Don't say that.
No, it's very impressive what you put together, and I see how data collection in your business is so important.
More questions?
Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Great
Thank you,
job.
Katie.
Vocational technical coordinators. Amanda Crosby and Paul Moskowitz.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and the school committee members. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you the vocational coordinators 2021-2022 report. This year, the vocational coordinators report will be in two parts. In your packet, you can see that both Amanda Crosby and I supervise different areas. On the first page, you can see that I supervise advanced manufacturing, technology, automotive collision and repair, automotive technology, CAD drafting, carpentry, electrical, electronics, robotics, engineering, HVACR, masonry, metal fabrication, welding, plumbing and heating, and also the cooperative education program. Coordinated program review, which was conducted in 2019. There was a delay in the report due to COVID-19. The DESE offices were limited hours, and the DESE safety officer is on a leave of absence until the end of October. We will be completed the follow-up safety report with DESE by December 30th of 2021. We have instituted a new Whittier respiratory protection program, Whittier hearing protection program. This program is in the drafting stages, and also a Whittier whole school safety and operation plan. And this plan is also in the drafting stages. This year, the YMCA Whittier Early Education Center opened with the start of the school year. Total of 8 full-time and part-time participating children. Opportunities for our staff to have their children attended, and there are 3 infants, 3 toddlers, and 2 preschoolers. The cooperative education update. As of today, we have 103 students participating in co-op. We've been getting many new co-op partners, and many more than we can handle requests for students. We are still implementing the new COVID-19 control plans, permission slips from the parents, mass COVID-19 control plan checklist for the employers, and the pre-employment site visit checklist. This year, our OSHA 10-hour credentials, hot work certification, and the new EPA certification will be implemented. We have 361 juniors participating in the OSHA 10-hour credentials. We have 204 sophomores participating in the hot work certification in applicable areas. The HVACR students will pass OSHA 10 credentials and hot work credentials during their sophomore year. 25 juniors and 17 seniors will participate and sit for the EPA regulations under Section 608. Technician certification of Clean Air Act. This is a new approach to making this certification possible for a higher number of our students, which makes them more employable. We added this page today because we felt that it was very important to report on this. It's the ESSER grant. The the Elementary and Secondary Emergency Relief Fund. We hired 2 full-time vocational aides as learning loss interventionists, 2 full-time vocational learning loss teacher assistants, 1 vocational learning loss and intervention coordinator. And we have planned again this year to have vacation week boot camps to accelerate and close the gaps for student learning. At this time, I would like to turn the report over to my colleague, Amanda Crosby, vocational coordinator.
You mean your job?
Good evening, school committee chair, superintendent Lynch, and school committee members. My name is Amanda Crosby. I oversee the areas of culinary, hospitality, business technology, marketing, cosmetology, graphics, design and visual, dental assisting, medical assisting, early education and care, community and visual arts, entrepreneurship, and as well as the adult education evening program. Just some program updates for the area. The Poets Inn opened the cafe for the 21-22 school year using the existing bank location. You can see it right over there. This provides an additional training opportunity for the students. Paul Muskovitz was a huge supporter in getting this going and off the ground and getting them everything that they needed. So it would not have happened without him. And again, it's an additional training opportunity for the students. I'm happy to report the Poets Inn Salon and School Store opened back up to the public on September 27th for the first time since closing in March of 2020. Health assisting, early education and care will begin their outside internship training in late October of 2021. Just an update on the adult evening program. Adult education ran mostly online last year, and it's vital for our plumbers and electricians to get their hours so that they can get their license through the state. So we are back in person. Adult education is currently running all of the required electrical and plumbing code classes. Plumbing has 141 students enrolled and electrical has 143 students enrolled. In addition, we are running the cosmetology licensure classes, which began on October 4th and has 10 students enrolled. We are also running personal enrichment courses for marine technology, welding, electrical fundamentals, basic masonry, and basic woodworking. We have 49 students enrolled in these programs. Overall, 343 adult learners are in the building at various times during the week. The adult education team is meeting in late October to plan course offerings for the summer and the spring and summer session. Also, just another update on the evening programs. We will be offering a 400-hour advanced manufacturing technology training program through the Northeast Advanced Manufacturing Consortium, which will run January through July. We will be offering CTI training for marine technology and welding in the spring. Both programs are grant funded and are designed to provide training for the underemployed and unemployed. Any questions?
Anybody have questions for either Paul or?
Well, I'd just like to say, it's nice to see the adult education program moving forward the way it is with the needs we have in our working community today. It's great to see it moving forward. I know people need electrical and plumbing certificates, and I think adult program is great for the whole school.
Bob, question. On the coordinated program review, the respiratory program and the hearing and the school safety, are those requirements from?
They were suggestions from DESI that we implement those. And we looked back at the last few CPRs and they were still on the list. So that's why we're completing those.
Okay. The deadlines or?
No, there was no deadline.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director of Pupil Personnel, Christine Morrison.
she's not able to attend
Oh,
today,
she's
so
not.
I'll fill in if that's
Okay.
okay.
Ms.
Um,
Lynch.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, before you tonight is the October 1 census. So for this school year, for October 1 report, we had 1,283 students, 330 freshmen. We are up 34 students over last school year. Are there any questions I can answer regarding the school census? Just one other thing. We have a little surprise from you from the Poets Cafe next week at our next school committee meeting. A little teaser,
Is that it? Maureen?
yes.
Mr. Ganis, principal's report.
Okay, good evening. Mr. Chair, Superintendent Lynch, rest of the school committee members. I'm happy to say that our Spirit Week is back. Spirit Week is starting on Monday, October 18th, the week. We're starting Monday. And it's going to be, that Monday is going to be Maui Monday. So wear your Hawaiian gear. On Tuesday, the 19th is Team Sports Day, and that's the pro sports wear. On Wednesday, the 20th is Western Wednesday. And on Thursday, Wildcat Thursday, and then Friday are the class colors. And that's going to be our Friday game for the pep rally that day. During that Spirit Week, if we remember, because again, we haven't had the fun, we're trying to bring back some normalcy. The classes will compete each day and will earn points for their class. The pep rally day will showcase the teams on the field, our beautiful field, and also our Jumbotron. Just talking to Rich to get that going. And Spirit Week trophy will be awarded. Again, we haven't had the Spirit Week since COVID. The student government advisors, student advisors, APs have really helped, and we're still in the planning process, but we're going to be ready to go for Monday for the kids. Open house, like Superintendent Lynch said, is November 7th. Pencil in from 1 to 4. Again, 8th grade students and parents and guardians we're offering. And the academic displays are going to be in the cafeteria, and vocational shop areas will be open. And additional displays will be in the gymnasium. So a little different, but we're having that, which is very exciting as well. So last Friday, October 8th, we had a very successful half day for our staff and professional development, which our moderator, John Warren, who's a science teacher of ours, who's also our diversity, equity, and inclusion coordinator. He had the staff, and we went into groups, and they really had lots of fun getting to know each other by discussing their identities. We separated them. Kelly Fay actually separated them as the PD coordinator, separated them into groups, and they had an unbelievable half day and a lot of positive feedback. So we're happy with that as well. The guidance department, guidance has organized virtual meetings for college admissions. They're going on as we speak. Representatives throughout the school year, they're going to do that virtually. Normally we have the college fair, but the colleges figured virtually they're going to get that done for our kids. And that's happening now. PSATs, our guru MCAS, Miss Jensen, who's amazing with this, were administered to 174 sophomores and juniors today. And they were in the gymnasium spread throughout the school. So that's also very exciting as well. And then finally, our commitment to school safety, with our students and staff is ongoing, and procedures and protocols. We're setting up for a parent safety night on Tuesday night, this Tuesday night coming. And the agenda is going to be our ALICE trainings, the vaping that's out there, and all the stuff that you hear with the social media and the news. And we're going to have a presentation with our police department, actually our SRO, Officer Conley as well. We'll have our safety team there and speaking with the parents and answering any questions. So that's all I have for you tonight. Any questions?
Staying busy.
Yeah, real busy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Business manager, Kara Cosmos.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, members of the committee. I have a couple of things in your packet. The first is, well, it's that time of year when we start to think about the FY23 budget. And the first part of that is the review of the 5-year capital plan. So you will see that in your packet. It serves as a planning document. It's updated every year. It projects the district capital needs over the next 5-year period. And as I said before, it's used as part of the budget preparation. You might notice that it looks a little bit lighter than it has in the past. And that is because we are now in an MSBA renovation project for this building. So all of the building capital needs have been removed from this list as they will now become part of the MSBA renovation project. So I wanted to point that out. And I would welcome any questions if you have any.
Is there a time? Is there a time in the next cycle or two that we could expect the state to give us the approval?
We are just at the point where we are, as Ms. Lynch said, starting selecting the OPM for this project, and we will be then going into the feasibility study, which studies this building and what it needs, and the state will come back and tell us what they recommend. So I think we're a little bit of ways away from that, but I think that happens probably within the next year, year and a half or so. So we're not quite there yet, but we're moving forward.
We're in the pipeline. So
Oh, we've been in the pipeline since December of 2019. There's just different stages.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody
Mr.
else?
Yeah, the 17 buses.
Mhm. Those are leased.
I know that.
Mhm.
2 years they stop.
It's a 5-year lease, so we will renew the lease at that point. That's
Will we have to
all. It says.
renegotiate it?
Yeah, that's why it says renewal, because I don't know. I mean, the price has been pretty stable, given the fact that we had, I think, 10 buses the last time and we upped it. We're on a 5-year cycle with all of our transportation vehicles, but I can't really put a number in there because I have no idea what that's going to look like.
To replace any of them?
We replaced, we own 10 of our buses and we lease 17 of our buses.
To go forward? What do we
Going
recommend?
forward, every year, you'll note, I usually bring
One
a
or two.
request to you that we replace 2 buses that we own. And then in the 5-year cycle, we replace the leased
So they're
buses.
looking for 120,000 a bus now?
No,
Approximately?
it's not that high. It's been about 150 for 2 buses.
Well,
but-
you've got replaced buses for next year for 240,000.
Oh, because I think we need more buses. We have a couple of spares too. So we have vans and buses that we replace.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, the last thing I have for you is the variance analysis. It is September 30th. 3 months have gone by in this fiscal year. And so the variance analysis is in your packet. I will be bringing a transfer request to you at a future school committee meeting, and that will balance the salary accounts. We've had 3 very different years. FY19 was one year that was almost a normal year, except for the last 3 months. Last year was a very different year. We operated on a hybrid model. And as you can remember, we had to make a lot of transfers at that time to adjust the salary accounts to align to the type of year we had last year. This year, a lot of the teachers who had been redeployed because of the hybrid model have now been put back into their assignments. So again, the budget numbers don't align because we prepared the budget based on where they were last year. We did not know what this year was going to look like. So at a future point in time, probably next month, I will be bringing a transfer to you that will once again realign the salaries. The bottom line is the salary amount is correct in there. It's just where people fell as we went from last year to this year. So I wanted to explain that and ask if anyone has any questions.
Not anymore.
Not about money.
I'm sorry?
Are we fully, no kids at all on hybrid anymore this year?
There are no kids on hybrid
Oh,
or remote.
everybody's here
Everybody is here.
and we're doing fine.
We're doing okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. November annual agenda items, review of curriculum, collective bargaining contracts, review and update of technology plan for November. Subcommittee reports, executive has not met. I don't know if we need to.
Not
We
at this
do
time.
not need to. Instructional personnel,
We do not need nothing at the moment.
okay. Plant operations, Mr. Tucker.
Has not met. We have such a good building manager. We hope we don't have to meet.
Actually,
You
I
have
would like to meet,
minutes.
Oh, we need
and we have minutes from
need
September.
an organizer.
Yeah.
How about next month at 6 p.m.?
That works.
That'd be fine.
But we have been
We
meeting
have-
minutes. from
We have
last month.
minutes to, we need a motion to approve the minutes.
We didn't have any minutes.
Yes, we did. You had a meeting last month.
All right, we can accept the minutes of our meeting that we had for informational purposes only. Which I move to accept.
Do you have a second?
Second,
Roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde,
yes,
Mr. Haviland,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
Okay. Salary negotiations, Mr. Irving. No, Mr. Early.
I don't believe we need anything, but we're getting close.
Not at this point, but we are getting close.
Okay, policy, Mr. Irving.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Policy met this evening. We went over the administration's admission policy this evening. And we agreed unanimously to move it forward to the full board tonight. I believe that Lisa sent it out in the packet, and everyone should have that new admission policy. So I move it for first vote this evening.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde.
yes,
Mr. Haviland,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we keeping the numbers, the scoring grid as we've always had it?
No.
No.
So the new policy has a very different scoring scheme.
Okay,
You're gonna find more points in the area of interview
okay.
and less points in the area of discipline and attendance. So there's been a lot of work and a lot of discussion throughout the state. I have been involved in most of those discussions. We want to make sure that every student that wants to attend Whittier has an opportunity to attend Whittier. And that our mission policy shows that what we're looking for, diversity in our programs. The thing about this new policy and the new regulations, I will be coming back to you annually, usually I believe in August, to have you review the policy to make sure and look at the data of our admissions over the last year to make sure that we're in fact doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Meeting dates, the regular school committee meeting for next month is November 10th, 6:30. Are there any other dates?
Plan top. At 6 p.m.
Superintendent, should we make a brief meeting before the meeting after plant operations?
A policy,
Yeah, I mean, even 6:25 or something.
Okay.
I don't,
6:15.
yeah, 6:15 will be fine.
just again, if there's any questions that come up during the month.
Okay.
And I would encourage everyone to take a look at the policy. I think it's the administration, superintendent's done a great job in putting this together. Been a lot of controversy statewide, and Desi's been insisting on certain things, but again, we want a little bit of autonomy, but I think we've walked the line. As Superintendent says, we will review this yearly. So if there are any cracks in it and need to be improved, we can do that. So I would definitely, ask you to review it, and any questions you might have, bring it next month. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
There's no new business posted and there is no executive session posted. We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Urban, Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. Havlin,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. True.
Yes.
Okay,